can do. This lady's going to talk about 6 activities.
If you want to eat healthy and feel your
It
best,
did not
you've got to
stay
try
on my
Kachava.
queued up.
Kachava is the world's
Pardon the
healthiest
commercial.
all-in-one.
Here we
Hey
go.
y'all, it's Cassie.
Can you
Today's
hear
video
it,
is going to
Dawn?
be the 6
Yeah.
activities that you can still do even if you are blind or visually impaired. And make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video because I'm going to tell you how you can collab with me on a future video. Now this is an article that I found on the RNIB website. I'm holding up my printed off paper here. And I just thought it was interesting and wanted to share it with you and let you know that even though you are blind or visually impaired, you can still be involved in different activities. And this article just lists 6 activities that you can still be involved with if you're blind or visually impaired. The first activity is creative writing. Now this can involve actually writing books or novels or short stories or poetry or even journaling. And if you maybe have problems with writing or you can't see very well to actually write it out, you can record your thoughts through audio instead. The second one is photography, and yes, you can still do photography even if you are blind or visually impaired. There is all kinds of different special equipment out there that will help you do photography. So make sure you look into all the different avenues that are available to us as blind and visually impaired people. The third activity is music, which is one of my favorites because music can make you feel a way that you can't really explain. Like, if you're trying to say something to somebody, sometimes music can say it better than you can. So that's why I love music so much. It's just, it gives you that feeling that you're looking for without having to explain anything. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can learn an instrument, or you can be able to read music. So you can do Braille, or you can do modified stave notation, which is MSN. And it was actually developed and promoted by the RNIB, which I thought was amazing. Or you can try and learn by ear, which a lot of people do. I've never been able to do that. I've always had to just be able to read music. So, but people who can learn by ear and play by ear, they amaze me. I don't understand how people do it sometimes. The fourth activity is another one of my favorites, and that is drama and dance. I was involved with theater for about 8 years, and it helped me just come out of my shell so much. I was very shy as a child and a teenager, and it helped me with self-confidence and expressing myself. And if I was having a stressful day or a stressful week or something like that, then going and pretending that you're somebody else can just get you out of that whole stressful mindset. And so, it also teaches you team building exercises. And so it's just an awesome activity to be able to get involved with. Number 5 is pottery and crafts. And this can bring out your artistic side and kind of more creative side. And it can also provide you with mental and physical stimulation, as well as helping you to meet new people. Number 6 is art and painting, and I love this activity just because I remember going with my grandmother to the local museum of art, and we would take magnifying glasses and sometimes we'd get real close to the painting to be able to see like just all the different dips and crevices and stuff like that in paintings. And we almost got in trouble one time from the museum staff because they thought that we were actually touching the paintings or taking pictures of the paintings, and that's usually a big no-no. So, but they actually were when we explained what was going on, they were very helpful and understanding about what we were doing. And, but we used to go at least like once a year to the Museum of Art just to see all the different pieces, and it was always one of my favorite memories. And there's all different kinds of artists out there, and I don't know if any of you know about this artist, but his name is John Bramblett, and he is legally blind, and he is a very big famous painter. I'm hoping to own one of his pieces soon. And he does, all of his art is with a very vibrant and different colors, and I just love that. That's all my style. He does some black and whites and stuff like that too, but I really love all of the colors because I can see colors very well. So that's all 6 activities that you can still be involved with even if you're blind or visually impaired.
Okay, I'm going to stop there and see if anybody has any thoughts or ideas about that. If I can figure out how to get back to my screen, that would be good. Oh, I know.
Yeah. Earlier, someone said knitting, crocheting is what I've had to give up. I've gone to a very big needle and big yarn, but I don't think I'm going to be it.
Carolyn, I've got some ideas on that for you. Let's take a look at this video
Hoo-hoo.
while I've got it queued up.
My name is Kay, and in today's video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about tips and tricks for crocheting or knitting when you're visually impaired. Since quarantine, I have been knitting and crocheting a lot, and I've just kind of come up with a lot of useful little things that have helped me be able to crochet and knit being visually impaired, so I thought I'd share them with you today. I'm legally blind, and it's definitely kind of hard to like see my yarn and see what I'm doing, so hopefully some of these things that have worked for me will work for you if you're interested in like getting into knitting or crocheting. Number one, large print yarn. That's not what it's called, I just call it that. But if you use yarn that's a weight 5 or above and a hook that's like a 8mm or bigger, then it's going to be so much easier for you to see what you're doing. I sometimes use worsted weight yarn, which is a weight 4, and it's okay. It's hard to see, but like I can manage if I have to. I would never use yarn that's a smaller weight than that. But my absolute favorite is to use like weight 5 yarn with an 8mm hook. It's amazing. I made a baby blanket out of that, and it was like the greatest experience because you can really see your stitches and see the yarn, or at least I can. This yarn is thick enough and the crochet hook is big enough that it's really just a bigger version of crocheting, so you can see your stitches a lot easier. It's definitely my favorite way to crochet. I can insert some pictures of things that I've made using weight 5 yarn and an 8mm hook. It makes crocheting so much easier because you can actually see what you're doing, so I would definitely recommend doing that, especially for your first few projects before you kind of get a hang of what you're doing, and then once you've done that a bunch, then you can kind of know what you're doing more, so you don't have to see it as much to crochet, you know. But anyway, I love using chunky yarn. I think it's the best. Number 2, threading a yarn needle. This is something that I used to struggle with, and then I learned how to do it, and now it's just easy. I literally don't have to look at it. Like I do not have to look at it to thread a yarn needle. So like a yarn needle or like a tapestry needle, I think they're actually called. They're like the big needles that you put yarn through. I use them for seaming. You also have to use them for weaving in ends, everyone's favorite part of a crochet project. But the way that you thread them, you might know this and you might be laughing at me that I didn't know this, but I did not know this until very recently. If you fold the yarn in half and then shove the folded in half yarn through the hole of the needle, it just goes right through. It's so easy. So I just shove it through, grab it, pull it through like it's cake. Otherwise, if you just try to put the end in, it'll like fray and parts will go through and parts won't, and it's a disaster. Yeah, I can't believe it took me this long to figure it out, but literally just folding the yarn in half makes it go right through the needle, and you don't even have to